Do you wish to retract your statement of May 11th where you claimed that the NIH never funded gain-of-function research in Wuhan?
Senator Paul, I have never lied before the Congress. This paper that you are referring to was judged by qualified staff up and down the chain as not being gain of function. Let me finish.
You take an animal virus and you increase its transmissibility to humans.
Right.
You're saying that's not gain of function?
Yeah, that is correct.
Why were we told later in the spring to wear them when we initially were told not to?
Okay, that's a good question, and I'm glad that you asked. Well, the reason for that is that we were concerned, the public health community, and many people were saying this, were concerned that it was at a time when personal protective equipment, including the N95 masks and the surgical masks, were in very short supply. And we wanted to make sure that the people, namely the healthcare workers, we did not want them to be without the equipment that they needed.
We're going to break this down one by one.
About going out and everybody buying a mask or getting a mask. We were afraid that that would deter away from the people who really needed it.
Viruses don't mutate if they don't replicate. So if you stop the transmission and the replication, you're not going to get any more mutations. If you allow the virus to spread and replicate, then you give it an opportunity to mutate. And that's the reason why we have to shut it down. Shut it down throughout the country in all age groups.
Big booty, big booty, what you got?
So my class decided to stand but not say the words.
I'll explain the montage.
Except for the fact that my room does not have a flag.
American
It used to be
flag.
There. But I took it down during COVID because it made me uncomfortable.
The American
Every
flag.
time I tell this kid, we do have a flag in the class that you can pledge your allegiance to. And he like looks around, he goes, oh, that one?
Bombshell new report says a suspected Chinese spy targeted California politicians. And one of her biggest targets was Bay Area Representative Eric Swalwell.
Do you wish to retract?
All right. For those of you who may not be familiar with the context of that beautiful montage that I took longer than I should have taken this morning to put together. Eric Swalwell. You may know Eric Swalwell from such productions as The Fart Heard Round the World, which I defended at the time because I think it's juvenile, and I also am not convinced it was a fart. Eric Swalwell, in some flippant Twitter thread, whatever, in attacking Senator Tim Scott, who says we are putting parents back in charge of their kids' education. Eric Swalwell, full of hot air in more ways than one, who had a relationship, allegedly, with a Chinese spy, in response to this statement, says, I'm so neurotic now, I have to go make sure I have the right mic. I do. I have the right mic. Okay. In response to Senator Tim Scott, to get the burn, he says, please tell me what I'm missing here. What are we doing next? Putting parents in charge of their own surgeries, because that's analogous, you buffoon. Clients in charge of their own trials. There are such thing as pro se litigants. When did we stop trusting experts? This is so stupid. No, Mr. Swalwell, this is not stupid. You are stupid. Yes, I said it. When did we stop trusting experts? It might be when they got in front of Congress and lied to our faces. Let's just go through this. Oh, when did we stop trusting teachers to teach our kids? Maybe when they started pushing radical ideologies that some parents don't like, taking down the American flag in their classroom because it makes them uncomfortable. Yeah. When did we stop trusting experts? When in the middle of the most deadliest pandemic that ever known to mankind shuts down the world, the overwhelmed hospital facilities have a trending amount of spare time to make TikTok videos. And then I had to throw in the little bit about Eric Swalwell with his relationship. But listen, just if anybody has forgotten about these things, let's go one by one.
Do you wish to retract your statement of May 11th where you claimed that the NIH never funded gain-of-function research in Wuhan?
I had to edit it a little bit, keep it to 2 minutes and under 2 minutes and 20 seconds. There was a part where he says, no, I do not wish to retract my statement. No, I will not make out with you. You hear that? Listen to what pathological liar, And if this is not criminalized, I don't know what is. Listen to what Fauci has to say. And by the way, notice the tendency of Fauci in two responses here, but in general, to deflect and to defer to authority, not authority above him, because he is the science. Generally accepted majority authority. Listen to how he does it twice in these clips, and he does it pathologically because it's one way to deflect responsibility from your own lies.
Senator Paul, I have never lied before the Congress.
I love that. First of all, I have never lied. Awkward pause. Before the Congress. Oh, I've lied. Never before the Congress. Okay, but it was a good comedic pause.
This paper that you were referring to
This paper? Tell me about the paper, Dr. Fauci.
was judged by qualified staff up and down the chain as not being gain of function.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize what qualifies as gain of function was subject to a poll. I didn't realize that what was gain of function was all of a sudden now so subjective that people up and down the chain below Fauci, who answer to Fauci and, the purse strings of funding, they get to decide subjectively what is objectively gain of function. Up and down the chain, a bunch of my underlings who rely on me for their very employment told me that it wasn't gain of function. So when I said it wasn't gain of function, I wasn't lying.
Let me finish.
You take an animal virus and you increase its transmissibility to humans.
Right.
You're saying that's not gain of function?
Yeah, that is correct.
Why were
All right. That is correct. That's not an edit, by the way. There might have been some segments. That's what he said. It's not gain of function because we said it's not gain of function. And I had people below me up and down the chain review this paper and say it wasn't gain of function. So there. Doesn't just stop with gain of function. Y'all remember the face masks? There was a point in time when they said we didn't need to wear face masks. Fauci said, you don't need them. You don't need them. Well, that turned out to be a lie. A lie, by the way. Not a mistake, not an error in fact, a lie. Why did he lie?
we told later in the spring to wear them when we initially were told not to?
Consider, by the way, let me just.
Okay, that's a good question. And I'm glad that you asked.
I've never lied before Congress. I lied to you, young lady. And by the way, it's not going to be the first time and it won't be the last. Did you learn anything? Oh, no. Did you learn to trust the experts when we tell you that we lied, but we had a good reason? What was our reason? We didn't want people taking what we thought they knew they needed to protect themselves, even though we ended up telling them to wear bandanas on their face.
Well, the reason for that is that we were concerned, the public health community, and many people were saying this, were concerned.
Did you notice he just did it again? Other people were saying this. The public health, other people were saying this. It wasn't just me. Don't point your fingers at me. Other people were saying I was relying on them.
And it was at a time when personal protective equipment, including the N95 masks and the surgical masks, were in very short supply.
So we were underfunded or under-equipped by our own standards. In Canada, by the way, we were under-equipped because Justin Trudeau had donated 16 tons of PPE to China. So we don't have enough PPE. We don't want to run. We don't want to encourage people to do it. So we're going to lie to you.
And we wanted to make sure that the people, namely the healthcare workers, we did not want them to be without the equipment that they needed.
So
there was
we lied to you. We didn't mind if you were without the equipment that we thought you could have benefited from. So we lied to you
about going out and everybody buying a mask or getting a mask. We were afraid that that would deter away from the people who really needed it.
Deter away. I don't think he means deter away. It means deflect. And by the way, here on the issue of vaccines not stopping, no one said vaccines were going to stop transmission, which is exactly why Fauci said this.
Viruses don't mutate if they don't replicate. So if you stop the transmission and the replication, you're not going to get any more mutations. If you allow the virus to spread and replicate, then you give it an opportunity to mutate. And that's the reason why we have to shut it down. Shut it down throughout the country in all age groups.
And then we get into the TikTok. Lies, and more damn lies. But why don't people trust experts anymore? Then you get into the experts of the doctors, overwhelmed, exhausted, sobbing, TikTok dancing. Then you get into the teachers. Oh, I wonder why people don't trust the experts, Swalwell. Because they've lied. They continue to lie because they've been infiltrated by politics and money and ideology. I shouldn't say money for teachers. Teachers are still not paid enough, but they've been infiltrated by ideology. Politics corrupts everything, even the circuitry of a brain. Viva, the 2012 Olympics opening told us about COVID. Have you seen it? I'll star this and I'll go look into it. But coronaviruses have always existed. So I'm not sure what you mean by this, but thank you for the super chat. Coronaviruses have already existed. That's why on the Lysol bottles, it says does not kill coronavirus. And in the early stages of coronavirus, because nobody's ever really heard of coronavirus on a mass scale before, everyone's like, holy crap, conspiracy theory. So I'll have a look, but I'm not sure what you're talking about. But thank you for the super chat. You should play the cat flu clip from The Simpsons from 2010. Once again, The Simpsons predict the future. It's uncanny. Chet Chisholm, thank you very much. And by the way, I know that you're in touch with my brother, so my brother can give you my contact info. Chet, thank you as always. So perfect segue, by the way. Experts in what? Producing biological weapons of destruction and lying to us. Super chats. YouTube takes 30% of all super chats. If you do not like that and you don't want to support YouTube directly or indirectly, we have alternatives. We're on it right now. Rumble. They have a thing called Rumble Rants. Rumble takes 20%. Better for the creator, better to support a platform that you like. What else? Best place to support me or Barnes, depending on if you want to support both of us, locals. vivabarneslaw.locals.com. Tons of exclusive content. Barnes's Hush Hushes, Bourbon with Barnes. I do exclusive stuff there as well. Not on as regular and scheduled a pace as Robert, but it's a wonderful community. You don't even have to join as a paying member. We have over 100,000 non-supporting members. It's a good place. So if that's the place you want to support us there, merch, vivafried.com. Although today I'm wearing Salty Army. I like this shirt. I have yet to have someone stop me on the street and say, Salty Army, Someone on the street is going to go, not that they should recognize from my channel, but that they should recognize Salty Army. And we're like, we'll do the salty fist pump. So that's what we got as the intro. Why am I not testifying at the Emergencies Act Commission? Because they are booked, they're overloaded, they had more people apply than they wanted, than they could handle. And I was trying to do it, and I was trying to organize with participating parties to come in as a witness, but they have been overloaded with witnesses, and not everybody who wanted to testify could. And if you can believe it, 6 weeks was not enough. But it might be because they've let some people talk for way too much, have way too many redundant witnesses. And that's why. It's not for lack of trying. I did not get my submission in before October 31st. I actually wasn't aware of that deadline. I was actively trying to, and still am. And I'll just say it loud and proud and publicly. If any party there has a spare hour for a witness, I will testify. I would love to testify. I was trying to organize it with people involved. It looked like it might have happened. I don't think it's going to happen because I think they are just outright booked. Next week's schedule, I think, is already confirmed. And so that's that. I tried, and I would love to, and I would have loved it. But what I might do, by the way, I might just do a day stream. What would have been my testimony before the commission? I've been going through some of my old streams, not to refresh my memory, to relive that period of Canadian history. But it's not for any, it's not, I was going to fly down literally last week or this week. I cannot fly down next week because my wife has left me again with with the kids for a week. So I will not be, you see, this is why I know Carly Ellison is a troll, or not a troll, but not a troll. It's not what I mean. Is a double fakey satire troll, because nobody stands with the WEF. And if you actually seriously stand with the WEF and you tweet that, I'm serious now. I'm convinced Carly Ellison is a humorous satire, satirical troll. Because I don't even think Klaus Schwab stands with the WEF. Anyways, thank you for being here again. As always, religion in every region. Yeah, until they decide that Salty Cracker, like Diagolon, is ideologically motivated violent extremism, and his network of Rees across the nation are a network of IMVEs. Thank you for the Ricada info. Rumble will rumble. Booyah. So by the way, that just to answer that question, I wanted to testify. I would have flown down last week or this week. I can still testify remotely if it can happen. Next week, I can fly down the week after. And I would have, and I would love to. But if I can't, I will. I think I'm just going to do a day stream, like timestamp all of the streams that I did live documenting the protest and say, this is what my testimony would have been had I been able to. But it is a good segue. Actually, I was going to start the show with this, but I like starting with something more lighthearted and that I can make fun of for the intro rant, and not something that I think is actually serious and deserving of our utmost of respect. Rosie Barton from CBC. Oh, she's not with the CBC anymore, but chief political correspondent, host, Rosemary Barton Live. Rosie Barton, or Rosemary Barton, is the face of Canadian media in the government subsidized Canadian media sense. Rosie Barton, I'll look up her bio afterwards, posts a picture, lest we forget, of the cenotaph in Ottawa, the war memorial in Ottawa. And I was like, I went back to my video footage and I wanted to see if I had any footage of the violence that occurred against veterans on the Friday and the Saturday, 16th and the 17th of February, when the protest was violently suppressed. And I do remember I backed off when the police were marching in lockstep to take one step at a time, one block at a time. And they took the cenotaph. And I said, I'm not there to get into trouble. I'm not there to get arrested. I'm there to document. And I backed off. But I went there the day before. I think this is from the 16th. And I went back the 17th when they took the entire downtown Ottawa with great force and furious violence. But I went back to my stream from the second to last day and pulled up this highlight. And on Remembrance Day, I think it's good that we remember, and that we, in fact, as Rosemary Barton suggested, lest we forget. I think it's important that we never forget what our government did to the veterans that they purport to commemorate today.
Sir, thank you. How you doing? You want to be on camera? What do you have to say to the world?
Well, hello world, hello Ottawa, hello Canada. Wow, what a day. It's sad. It's entirely so sad that we are living in this. And what a soldier goes through to protect this country, outside of this country, and what we dedicate our lives to do, right, is to allow every Canadian citizen the right to do free and unrestricted protests, peaceful protests. That's all this has ever been. All it's ever been. And what you're getting from mainstream media has been lies and narratives. And it's too late now because the police are moving in. But I wish you could have all been here in person to see it for yourself. Because the metric that you're getting out of the mainstream is so twisted and wrong.
I hope you guys can hear it
What's
properly.
your first name?
Daryl.
Daryl. So you're standing here until who puts the pen?
This is it. We'll take a knee right here. They can put the cuffs on and take us away peacefully. We will not resist. And freedom isn't free. Stand up for it.
Hopefully it doesn't come to that, but Godspeed.
Better men than me. And on Remembrance Day now, they all pay tribute with cheap words while they actually desecrate the memory of what soldiers fought for by having abused of veterans in real time at that protest. And so that's what Rosie Barton puts up. And I was like, yeah, let's not forget. Let's not forget about how Justin Trudeau, through his militarized police, brought in armored vehicles, snipers on roofs, literally physically abused, physically assaulted war veterans. You heard Chris Deering's testimony at the trial. Remind me, people, that's the video that I'm going to play this stream out with. my interview of Chris Deering, when I had heard, I was at the protest and I saw another veteran, big burly dude, looked very much like that guy, at the back of a big rig, sobbing. And I didn't record him because I felt bad capturing another human in that state, sobbing. I had no idea what happened. I immediately thought someone in his immediate family had passed away. I thought it was the sobbing of infinite sorrow, of grief that you couldn't possibly understand. And I didn't know what happened. I tried to ask him a question, couldn't even talk to me. And then I realized that what had happened was that was the day, by the best of my recollection, where the government had come in and treated veterans in a way that shook this guy's love of country, that shook this guy's conscience to the very core, where he said, holy crap, has my government become the enemy? Has my government become the enemy that I fought against and that I fought against in other countries? Afghanistan, we fought to free the people from tyrannical governments, oppressive regimes. Has my government become that? I remember it, clear as day. I saw the guy either the next day or a couple days later, and we talked. But that's it. And so I'll pull up that interview afterwards. So on this Remembrance Day, what's our PM doing? Well, I got to get the parody account afterwards. But what's our PM doing? That's Justin Trudeau's ego. That's not the right one. Oh, tabarnouche. Where is the... Here we go. What's our dear leader doing? He tweets this out yesterday. In a few hours, I'll be wheels up for Cambodia. Some of you might not know what wheels up is because some of us might not have private jets. In a few hours, this is November 10th, last night, 9:12 p.m. I'll be wheels up for Cambodia. Just hop in on my jet, wheels up. We're jet setters. I'm going to Cambodia this time. I'm heading there with Melanie Joly and Mary Ng for the ASEAN Summit, where we'll meet with other leaders to create jobs and economic growth, strengthen partnerships, and promote regional stability. Stay tuned for updates. Well, at least he's not going wheels up to lecture us about climate change this time, like he did the last time. Wheels up, people. I'm going to look it up after this. I had never heard of the term, but I could envision what it is. Jet setters go wheels up when their private jets take off the runway and their wheels peel back into the central part of a plane. Justin Trudeau, on the eve of Remembrance Day, is flying to Cambodia. There's a lot of good jokes in there to point out the absolute hypocrisy of this. Mine was, this is how he plans on avoiding testifying at the Emergencies Act. Who knows how long he'll be gone for? He is scheduled to testify, unless he can find a way to get out of it. Guess it's easier than saying you have COVID for the third time. And then other people were making, the internet, if there's a joke, if there's an insightful, witty remark to be made, add a statement, someone on the internet will find it. And I'll dare say that everyone on the internet found it this time. One guy says, don't come back. That's very good. The functioning savage PhD's nuts. I have no idea who that is. That's just fun. Dr. Hissy Pissy says, coward. That's not so insightful. That's just honest. Let me rephrase. That's not like cutting humor, satire. That's just stating the obvious. Please don't come back. I repeat. Really couldn't wait until after Remembrance Day ceremony. Thank you. Be safe. Don't listen to trolls. They're fans or they wouldn't be here. That's not right. That's not true at all. Where's the one? Dude flies so much, he says, wheels up like it's a phrase us unsophisticated polluters would be familiar with. I love it. I could go through Twitter all day long. Then we got Gad Sad. How much of this trip is paid for with my book royalties that the Canadian government stole from me? Gad Sad doesn't mean literally stole. He means stole through taxation. Gad and I had a discussion about the amount of tax dollars that the Canadian government takes from tax-paying citizens, and it's shocking. Wheels up. This is Freeway Frank, who might be coming on for a live stream. He was on the radio way back in the day. He's a great guy. Wheels up. Are you 18? Bringing your surfboard by any chance? Totally awesome. All right, where's the one about Cambodia and communism? And there was one that said, yeah, it's fitting that you're skipping Remembrance Day to go to a formerly communist regime country that had the greatest genocide, or among the greatest genocides in the history of humankind. How fitting. Are you going to go learn some more about the basic, functioning of dictatorships, Trudeau? But skipping, the most important national holidays so he can go jet setting and whatever. It's not a new thing for Justin Trudeau. For those of you who may not know, he did something probably equally as stupid, but no, a little stupider the last time, where on the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation, which I'm fairly certain his government set up as a national holiday, he skipped it to go to the beach. Prime ministers, leaders are entitled to vacation. They're entitled to family time. Full stop. Not on a national holiday. That they themselves. I think the government actually made this a national holiday, but I'm not sure about that. He's jet setting wheels up to Cambodia. Remembrance Day. Yeah, I'll be in Cambodia for that. And Truth and Reconciliation Day. I'm going to ignore some invitations from Indigenous populations and just go hit the beach with the family. Justin Trudeau, sorry for skipping first day of National Truth and Reconciliation Day. Canadian Prime Minister took family holiday on day to underscore bitter legacy of Indigenous Regis schools. I regret it. He apologized for it. We can go into it, but Canada's Liberal Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, has said it was a mistake to take his family on holiday on the first day, on the first national, it was the inaugural holiday that he made a national holiday. The first National Day for Truth and Reconciliation, honoring the lost children and survivors of Indigenous schools. He flew to Tofino with his family on Thursday after his own government in June had designated 30 September a federal holiday to underscore the legacy of so-called residential schools. He apologized. You guys, everyone knows about you could put in died suddenly in Google and you'll get some stuff. Put in Trudeau apologizes. Apologizes. Watch this. Just put in Trudeau apologies. I mean, this is as sad and sick a phenomenon as died suddenly has become. Trudeau apology. Brown face unacceptable and racist. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau apologizes for brownface. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau apologizes for Tofino trip on Truth and Reconciliation Day. Trudeau apologizes for brownface. Trudeau apologizes for skipping Remembrance Day. Hold on, let's keep going. He apologizes for the blackface, for the third blackface. For the holiday, fine. Trudeau apologizes. There's more. Brownface, First Nations. Once you get past the first page of results, okay, we got the vacation one, brownface. Trudeau apologizes for not answering First Nations, same one. I don't know how far you have to go down. How about this? You get Jody Wilson-Raybould. He apologizes for... Trudeau apologizes to Wilson-Raybould. Let's do a reporter. Trudeau apologized to the reporter behind the groping claim. How about the We Charity? Trudeau apologizes for We Charity. Trudeau is the apologizer in chief because he's the corrupt prime minister of Canada. It's endless. It's a joke. His apologies are a joke because his indiscretions are a joke because he is an unethical, corrupt, buffoon, tyrant of a leader. There, I said it. I mean, it's like, how many times do you apologize before it means nothing? Apparently a lot, because he still got reelected. All right. Drama. Apologize for brownface. Apologize for blackface. Apologize for third blackface. Apologize for going to Tofino on Truth and Reconciliation Day. Apologize to Jody Wilson-Raybould for pressuring her and for firing her. Apologize to the reporter that he allegedly groped in 2000. Apologize for the WE scandal. He should have recused himself from the vote. Apologize for breaking the code of ethics for the Aga Khan. I forgot that one. Apologize for the Aga Khan undeclared gifty trip. I left out wanker. Oh, no. That would be an insult to wankers. Wankers serve a purpose. Wankers in the literal sense. Look up Trudeau, tears in eyes. Oh, I could say much worse, but I choose. I still, even in my Viva rage, that's pretty much what it is. I still try to not cross any lines. We're going to move it on over to Rumble. Because we're moving on up. Okay, we're going to go to Rumble. The link's in there. Did I put the third place? I mean, that's the... Hold on, there. Well, in fairness, it was already not sort of double jeopardy. It was already fait accompli at the time. Like he had already done it. So he's just going to apologize for however many times he did it. But he doesn't know how many times he did it. He's just lucky that, you know. Did he apologize for reporting the hold on, I think he did. Hold on. I think they called that elbow gate. I've showed that video a number of times, but when he stormed across Parliament floor like the king of the castle and then elbowed an NDP lady in the boobie. Trudeau apologizes. Let's just see here. Apologizes breast. There's going to be two videos. There's going to be two that come up for that. Yeah, she did it. He apologized to Ellen Brosseau. If you put in Trudeau apologizes breast, you actually get two different sets of results. That's the quality leadership we have in Canada. I still stick with the juvenile boobie or breast or boob. Okay. But yeah, Trudeau apologizes. I'm going to make a list. I'm making a list. I'm going to make a montage. Trudeau apologizes. All right, peeps, let's do it. Move on over to Rumble. Talk about some more stuff. Booyakasha. Hold on. What am I feel like I'm forgetting something. But that's the story of my life these days. No, let's do it. Let's go to Rumble. See that number? There's 1,035 people who should mosey on over to the Rumble side, the dark side. All right. We're moving on YouTube in 3, 2,